fifth time we have heard about Moderna, no longer than 2 years ago. A huge acceleration has happened, and in these 2 years. What is your perspective on that, and how you measure that time?
Thank you, Marta. Moderna actually has about 10-year scientific, entrepreneurial, and medical journey. We have gone from a revolutionary but unproven concept of medicinal products to a commercial organization, now with more than 40 programs in development. It was our mRNA technology platform, the deep experience with mRNA, and also the strategic alliances, also the early investment in manufacturing and digital that allowed us a unique position to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic quickly. We believe our mRNA platform can solve a lot of the world's greatest health challenges, from diseases that are impacting millions to medicines that are personalized to individual level.
And could you tell us about your main product, and what is the mRNA platform, and how does the company use it?
We are looking, as I mentioned, at 40 clinical programs at the moment. Basically, the big therapeutic areas we are looking at are infectious diseases, immuno-oncology, autoimmune diseases, and rare genetic disorders. The platform is basically comprised of 3 integrated elements: the mRNA technology, the lipid nanoparticle vehicle that carries the mRNA, also integrated with a manufacturing process. Moderna has this unique integrated platform that accelerates the identification, development of new therapeutic medicines, either vaccines or other proteins that are designed to address other health problems, but also allow us to identify the best mRNA sequence to address the particular health problem.
And how is mRNA technology different from the other vaccine manufacturing method? And does it allow for faster access to new vaccines and new drugs?
So mRNA vaccines are designed using the genetic code of the virus, and understanding the genetic code of the virus through the technology allows to transcript a vaccine designed with mRNA sequence that is compatible to the proteins on the virus, particularly the spike protein in the case of COVID-19. This mRNA sequence is then introduced into the individuals through injection. And when it is picked up by the cells, it allows the production of a protein that is similar to the viral protein. In this technology, we are not using live attenuated viruses or killed viruses, but again, we are using portions of the virus as parts of the protein that are known to cause the highest antigenic response. When the proteins that are produced by the mRNA are introduced in our bodies, they are presented to the immune cells. The immune cells manufacture neutralizing antibodies that combats these portions. And subsequently, when the infection occurs, the body has already prepared neutralizing antibodies to combat these antigenic parts of the virus. So to the second part of your question, yes, this technology allows Moderna to expedite the process of identification of the exact sequence to produce proteins identical to the viral proteins. And this definitely allows Moderna an advantage to address infections in a more rapid way than the other traditional processes.
The process of introducing the drug or vaccine usually takes about 10 years. But the pandemic and the whole situation on the whole world creates situation when the first coronavirus vaccine appeared in just few months. Is mRNA technology safe? And could you tell us a little bit more about safety of this vaccine?
That's very important. And also you mentioned part of the answer. So the safety and efficacy of any medicinal product is determined through a vigorous and well-structured clinical trial program looking into the safety, tolerability, and the efficacy of the medicinal product. This clinical trial program starts with first the identification and development of the investigational product, followed by animal studies before we proceed to human studies. The emergency state, as you mentioned, has put a pressure on vaccine providers to look into a safe and efficacious vaccine. With that, vaccine providers has put a lot of energy and resources into accelerating the process of vaccine identification. In this case, Moderna advanced mRNA platform and the readiness of the platform expedited the process of the vaccine identification and development. But then the clinical trials have taken the normal pathway from animal studies to human studies before the regulatory authorities could review the data from these clinical trials and approve the product for worldwide use later on. The safety and efficacy of the vaccine has been also shown within the real world practice of millions around the world. And the data that we have seen from the safety and efficacy confirms the data that we have seen from the pre-commercial clinical study program.
Mm-hmm. And will the coronavirus vaccine will be updated annually as it is with the influenza vaccine, and will be a combination of these two vaccines in Moderna portfolio?
So the coronavirus continues to evolve, and Moderna continues also the clinical research program for COVID-19 as variant-specific vaccines that address the unmet medical needs of the communities. It is expected that with the virus evolution, the need for updated vaccines every period of time might be a medical need. We have shown with our recent approach of a bivalent vaccine that the level of neutralizing antibodies has been superior to the level of neutralizing antibodies that we have seen with the prototype vaccine booster. We anticipate that with this higher level of neutralizing antibodies, the new bivalent vaccine could provide a durable effect to boost the immunity against COVID-19. Also, the bivalent vaccine addresses mutations on the virus that are known to exist with new and existing variants of COVID-19. These updates with the booster will allow neutralizing antibodies that are targeting variants that they were not designed for.
But can we expect also new innovative vaccines based on mRNA platform? And what viruses and disease will they protect against?
So as I mentioned, Moderna is looking into 4 clinical programs, either within infectious diseases, autoimmune diseases, immuno-oncology, and other therapeutic areas that addresses unmet medical needs. Within the infectious diseases platform, we are looking at other viral infections, for example, HIV, RSV, cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus, a lot of viral infections. We are also looking at the respiratory viral infections in particular, in a way to combine vaccines for different respiratory infections. For example, we are now looking at mRNA 1073 that combines influenza and SARS-CoV-2. We are also looking at mRNA 1230 that combines influenza, SARS-CoV-2, and RSV.
And a bivalent vaccine against the coronavirus and the Omicron variant is being developed. What are the latest research on this, and when this vaccine will be available?
So we at Moderna were excited on the 8th of June, to announce the clinical data for the day 25 administration of the bivalent vaccine, mRNA 1273.214, our bivalent vaccine in a dose of 50 microgram. The mRNA 1273 addresses the continued evolution of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, including monovalent and bivalent candidates targeting multiple variants of concern. The company primary focus was on the bivalent approach to maintain high neutralizing antibody titers while also improving the breadth of immunity to variants. Looking at this particular or current mRNA 1273.214, it includes 32 mutations present in the Omicron variant of concern. The 50 microgram booster dose of mRNA 1273.214 met all the pre-specified endpoints, including superior neutralizing antibody response against the Omicron variant 1 month after administration when compared to the original prototype vaccine. And also, and very important, the booster dose was generally well tolerated with side effects comparable to the booster dose of the prototype vaccine at the same 50 microgram dose.
Okay, and will the bivalent vaccine also be available for children over 6 months? What is the current archetype of vaccine for this group of patients? I'm mother of this 1-year-old daughter, so I'm very concerned about this.
So I'm also a father for children, and definitely we are concerned for all our children and looking for the best protection for them. Moderna is currently studying the mRNA 1273.214 as a primary series and also booster for the age group 6 months to 6 years of age. We expect to have initial data around October 2022. However, also last March, 23rd of March, Moderna announced that our prototype vaccine in phase 2-3 study for children 6 months to 6 years has also successfully met its primary endpoints. The interim analysis showed robust neutralizing antibody response for the dose of 25 microgram as 2-dose primary series, but also not even not a primary endpoint. We found statistically significant vaccine efficacy that was observed during the Omicron wave that was consistent with the lower 2-dose effectiveness against Omicron that was seen in the adults. Moderna is moving forward with global regulatory submissions for mRNA 1273 for primary vaccination of children 6 months to under 6 years of age.
Yeah, it's great. And you said a little bit about Mrna access. How can scientists and researchers use it, and how you want to develop this?
So Moderna believes that we have an advanced technology, but we understand also that the health problems are numerous. And if we can provide the technology, this can enable scientists worldwide to address even other health problems that Moderna is probably addresses as a medical need. For that, Moderna is launching mRNA Access, a new collaborative enabling researchers around the world to utilize Moderna's mRNA technology platform to pursue research in their own labs on emerging and neglected infectious diseases. We are creating a community of global scientists to access our mRNA vaccine technology from anywhere in the world.
And what approach does Moderna have to the future develop of pandemic? And can we expect another wave in the autumn? And how you prepare to this, and how the world and all countries should prepare for that?
So the best strategy to combat the pandemic is to increase protection through vaccination and also to strengthen the distancing and other measures to reduce the transmission of the disease. Moderna has the technology to expedite the identification of new variant vaccines, specific vaccines. And we are able, and we have shown in the past that we can produce a new vaccine in 60 days from the first identification to the first human use in clinical trials. We continue to investigate the evolution of the virus. We continue to be vigilant to the situation. We understand now that at this moment of time, with the Omicron dominating the picture, the bivalent vaccine combining the prototype vaccine and an Omicron specific vaccine can cover two variants and a wide spectrum of other variants. And as I mentioned, we still continue to be vigilant to the evolution of the virus and be ready with our technology to address any surprises that COVID can bring to us.
You told us a little bit more about your research, but what are the company development plans for upcoming years? And is the company planning to introduce more vaccines or also drugs in which therapeutic areas?
So this year, we have already 4 investigational products in phase 3. And we are expecting that within 2 to 3 years, at least 3 of them will be commercial launches. These are the current bivalent COVID-19 vaccine, an RSV vaccine, influenza vaccine, and CMV vaccine. We are also in different stages of development for other viral infections, for example, Epstein-Barr virus, herpes simplex virus, HIV, a major health problem, definitely, and also varicella zoster vaccine, and also a wide range of other respiratory vaccines.
In few next days, in European Parliament, there will be discussion about monkeypox. Is Moderna already working on the vaccine for monkeypox virus? And what is the biggest hope if you think about vaccine in other therapeutic areas, not only on pandemic diseases?
So Moderna generally was built on the guiding premise that if mRNA technology as a medicine can work for one disease, it can work for a lot of other diseases. Moderna announced it once there were news about the monkey flu or monkeypox. Announced it on the 23rd of May that we are investigating potential monkeypox vaccines at a preclinical level. I understand that this is still ongoing. I do not have further information at the moment. However, our platform allows an expedited process again for the identification of the genetic sequence of the virus and developing a vaccine within 60 days from the identification to the first human clinical trial.
I think that's all question I've got. Maybe you can tell us also about future, what will happen in healthcare system. If you think about protection and public health, what is the biggest concern right now?
The biggest concern right now is definitely the surge in infections from variants that are already existing or new variants of COVID-19. The best strategy to address these concerns is to continue boosting the protection against the viral infections using vaccination, but also strengthening the measures that we have developed and identified to reduce the transmission of infection. We should not really think that the virus is or the pandemic is over yet. We see rising cases in several countries of the world. Probably it is not on news as it used to be. However, it is ongoing. And if we look into the data of several countries, the numbers are rising, and we should be humble in front of the COVID-19 and not to think that it is over. It is far from over yet.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.